Have any of you guys decided to change your career in your 30s? After 14 years of me working in a union, I'm just sick and tired of putting my boots on at 4 o'clock in the morning and being outside in the cold and all that nonsense. So I'm sitting here trying to get a certification studying for something I'll tell you guys later about, but I haven't done this in 20 years. It feels fucking weird. So if you guys have any similar stories of changing your career, let me know.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Today is all about career changes. So, without any further ado, let's jump right into it.
I feel like I'm the only one that actually loves the 9 to 5, and I'm never leaving it. I was a mechanic from high school all the way until I was 25. I was overworked, stressed, and I never got to see my family. So I decided to make a really big change. Now I work a normal 9 to 5 as a data analyst, and I got my life back. I make twice as much, I work half the time. The internet still thinks I should quit this, but the best part, I finally get to do work that I enjoy and still be there for my family.
So, I also have a 9 to 5. So, I'm a big fan of 9 to 5s. You can build a routine around your 9 to 5. People mistakes all the time in 9 to 5 with slavery, which is not. A 9 to 5, it's for me, in my experience, it's very important, especially if you just begin starting a career, just graduated, and then you're out the field, you're out there working to a work environment that you went to school for. And 9 to 5s are very important. They'll help you creating wealth. You can find yourself getting used to, working from 9 to 5, the hours. You get used to the money that you're making, your salary. You can make changes. You can add some. And then for me, it's something important. For me, it's important, and it's the best way for you to go out there and show yourself. And could be in tech, could be a regular 9 to 5, could be a maintenance job, and it could be any type of job. So for me, when I first started out, I had a 9 to 5, and I actually do enjoy it. I work myself around the 9 to 5 schedule. So I find it interesting, and I always find something else to do after 5. Either I could be with my family, just spending time with them. I could find a little hobby on the side. As a matter of fact, this YouTube channel I just created for me is a pastime. I have a full-time job, so I don't count YouTube as my job. So I just like doing, just like sitting here talking to you guys, reacting to some videos, and just having fun while we're doing it. So that's how important the 9 to 5 is. So guys out there, don't be scared of it. Go out there, try it out. If you don't like it, build your own schedule, be your own boss. Just do whatever you feel it's, whatever likes for you, whatever you like, and whatever is worth it for you. So
Yeah, there are still some late nights and some really early mornings, but that doesn't matter because when you find work that fits your life, that's the real freedom. So I can't be the only one that loves 9 to 5, right? Because
Yeah, I just had to share my excitement real quick. Number one, my wife and I just got our keys to a new place. We're moving in today in a new city. That's big for me. I've been waiting to move for so long. We finally moved. We got a trip coming up, got another trip in August. College started in the fall for me, new career change. And on top of that, I started posting on social media back in February, just being me, fashion, talking about life and the changes. A company reached out. They liked what they saw. They liked my story. And I just signed my first retainer contract. So now I'll have a flow of income through social media.
So that's another thing. People change careers. Sometimes they're not doing well where they at right now. They just got over it. They're just fed up with, the work environment. Because keep in mind, we all been there. Myself, I'm actually going to school right now. So I don't think I'm gonna quit my 9 to 5, but I just like tech. That's my thing. I'm going to school for cybersecurity, so I love tech. So I was like, hey, I think now is the time for me to go into a camera, create a YouTube channel, and that's exactly what he's doing. He put himself out there, started posting stuff. Now somebody's reaching out to him. So sometimes you don't have to, doesn't have to be extreme. The career change doesn't have to be all the way. It could be a little switch. It could be you just switch into a different career path, find yourself, you know, you had a hobby and now you turn it in as a full-time career, a full-time employment. So this career change, the career changes off they are often good. They're often needed, but keep in mind now, if you do have a family, if you have some responsibilities, you cannot just quit your job, quit your 9 to 5, and go pursue something on your own. Especially if you don't, if you don't have that much income, or you didn't set money aside, or you don't have an emergency fund. So if you have all of those, then go ahead and just do your own thing. Feel free and feel adventurous going out there and just find your happiness doing it. So, but he was right. He went out there and he found something that he likes, and now he's gonna make money from it. So, hey, kudos. That's good.
It's just crazy how things happen. Like, it's such a blessing. Like, thank the Lord that, blessings come and go, but man, it feels good. That's all I gotta say. Just keep posting, doing your thing, and things will come to you as well. Just be good. See you guys.
Changing careers at 28 is way harder than people admit. No one really talks about what it's like. And it's this really weird thing. I did it a few years ago myself where, like, 28 years old, you're not young enough now to still be like figuring it out. And on top of that, a lot of your peers that
That's one of my coworkers told me that one day. I was trying to look for something else, maybe find a different job, getting paid the same. And that's exactly what he said. He says, every time every year that passes, you're only getting older. Because if you want to change a career, you should do it when you're young. If you want to become, let's say, a police, you want to become a cop, you want to be able to do that in your younger years. Because later on you want to switch, do a different career path. Maybe you have to go to school for it. You're still young, you got strength, you got health, and you can go out there and spend the time, and you had the stamina to do it, you had the energy. While you've waited too long, you might be late. So continue listen to this.
in your first career you started with, or maybe like buying homes, maybe even having a kid at this point, they're getting their next promotion. They're starting to get maybe a Tesla or something like that. And as much as we like to tell ourselves like that stuff does not eat at us, it absolutely does, and overcomplicates how simple of a transition this should be in the long scope of a 30 to 40 plus year career. I think one of the funny things is I tried a lot of things in college with like activities, clubs, sports, all of these different things. And at the age of 28, you're almost smart enough to now know the risk of trying something new. So it's not as fun.
See, that's exactly what I said before. If you're 28, like the example that he's using, at 28, maybe I should say about 25 years old, you already know that you have to have a career path. You have to go, you have to set up a goal, because you're getting into, the older, you're getting older, you're going to be 30 and then 40, time passes quickly. So I believe at 25, 26 years old, you should know, you should know better. You should know your career path that you actually looking to pursue, or that you would like to pursue. So that's the thing. You don't want to be into your 30s and then wandering off. Be like, hey, I wonder if I could do this now. I wonder if I want to do that. Now we all seen people, down the 60s or even 70s, graduating from college, doing different things. Hey, I like that. I've seen the videos, they motivate me, but we gotta be real about this. Jobs out there, they want to hire old people. They want you to have experience, which is another thing. If you keep on switching every 2, 3, or 4 years, you're never gonna have enough experience under your belt for that new job. So you gotta be wise, people.
As it used to be, or exploratory, and like, hey, yeah, let me try this thing. If it doesn't work out, all good. Like by the time you get to 28, like things are kind of getting a little bit real here. It's a little bit different than it was when maybe you're in school or right out of school. I know I had some people in my network that did their major for like a year in a job and quit. And I envied them because I had gotten all the way to 27, 28 and still was not sure what I wanted to do. But I will tell you 2 major takeaways from my side, which I don't even want to talk about the outcome, how it's gone, and all of these different things. I think the only way you can really progress through this is to like sit in the pain and the confusion and the not knowing, the uncertainty, and actually learning to make a decision regardless of the outcome is the underlying skill that I think I developed. And so I know a lot of people right now maybe are unfortunately losing their jobs right now with everything going on.
So made it clear, if you're going to school, if you got into a college, make sure that in between your high school, your high school years, Make sure that you're ready and you're committed to a job, to a career. You want to become X, Y, and Z. You want to make sure that whenever you go into college, you have already set up your mind and you are going in and tackle it. You don't want to waste time. You don't want to be jumping up and down. You already went to school. You already party. It was all over the place. But you got into college. You should know. You should know better. You should know what to do, what you want to become, what will be your professional career, and something that you're going to be doing, hopefully, for 30, 40, or even 50 years. It used to be, you graduated at 21, maybe 22, 23, and then at 57 and a half, 62, the latest, you can just, hey, I'm going to retire. I'm going to go home. I'm going to enjoy the kids, grandkids, enjoy life. But now things are getting worse, as far as money, as far as money goes and how expensive life is. So now people are retiring later, 70s, even into their 80s. So all of this is for you guys to get ready and prepare yourself. Since you're in junior high, you should already know what you want to be doing for the rest of your working years, which are the working years are going to be between 25 years old all until about 48. Those are your best working years. You're healthy, you're strong, you can work long hours, you're into the hype thing, you have few kids, so that's your best years. After 50, things can change, so
on, and or we're at a point where you just want to make a change. A lot of things are changing in the world and you want to set yourself up for that. There's a lot of stuff online that's like, go for it, change your career. Like, if I'm being honest from my side, what really just like broke the camel's back is I just hated my first career, which was engineering. Respect to the engineers out there, it just wasn't for me. I literally just hated that so much that doing anything else at that point was going to be fine. And I hope that you don't have to get to that point. But also, one thing I severely underestimated, and it's
people often think that having, become engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, having this amazing careers, they're gonna be, they're gonna be happy, or that's what they like to do, and then find out that they don't like that. They have to go and do some odd jobs, and then right there, the people will be wondering like, what are you doing here? You're an engineer, you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you're a lawyer, and then that's when they'd be like, well, I went to school for this. I thought I like it. I don't like it. Now I'm trying to change careers. And that's when the age comes along, be like, hey, but now I'm 40, I'm 45, I'm 50. I had debts, I have a mortgage. I had to take care of my parents. So guys, just be wise about this. If you're into a career right now, you're still young, the 20s, early 30s, and you want to change, hey, today, now is the time. Make sure you get ready first. Get your little savings fund. Put some money aside. Just gather as much money as you can, pile the whole thing up, and then go out there and kill it. Go out there and make it happen. Get with your spouse, get a plan going, so that way when something happens, if something happens with your new career, you have someone that you can fall back on. You have your spouse that's gonna back you up. So it's all about being wise. That's why I like these videos. They help people out. You can see people that they are extremely smart, they like some good careers, but also, guys, we're lacking of barbers, electricians. There's so much jobs out there, just regular jobs, what they call odd jobs, painters, people that actually paint houses, down here in Puerto Rico, there's a lot of jobs. People will go out there, they'll get their business going, they'll paint houses, they'll pressure wash, they'll mow the lawn, they do all kinds of jobs down here that, older people or people that people that are busy out there just working, they have long hours, they can do it themselves. They hire these other people and they making back. They're making more than lawyers sometimes. And they don't even have to go to school for it. Because most of the time, you just learn this while you're growing up. You cut your dad's lawn, you go out, you pressure wash your house, your grandparents' house. So these are things that already, that your parents have been teaching you throughout the years. So It's easy. So sometimes you don't even have to go to school for it. You don't even have to go and have a great career. I just want to be a lawyer because they make a lot of money. But then you have to go out there and you start doing the job. And then, yeah, you're making a lot of money, but it comes with a lot of stress. You might not have time for your family, and all kinds of things might happen, which we all know what could they be. So
especially for those of you that want to transition into a career with more financial upside. Yes, you may have to put some work. I'm not saying like just quit your job and make an irrational decision. Try to build the skills while you're working. You can absolutely do that. But the real thing you need to just embrace now is that there will never be a clear signal of what is or is not the right move. And that's why I think to some extent you got to go really deep personally and just get to the point where enough is enough. The worst thing in the world is being kind of comfortable, kind of not sure what you want to do. You can live there for 20 years and your life will pass you by. If you have been thinking about this for like a year, especially 2+ years, I took 3 years, by the way, to ultimately make the change. Wait.
just hop in on YouTube, just go on YouTube, do a quick search. You have plenty of people doing tutorials about a lot of things. I have a friend of mine that he had to fix something in his own house, instead of paying somebody else. He went in, watched the video, write it down. He kept on watching the video while doing the job himself. And he learned it right. Later down the road, he went to school for it. So he can get the certification and go out there and actually work as a handyman, building a career out of it. And this guy here took him 3 years. 3 years. That's a long time trying to change careers and going back and forth and be like, I want to do this in 3 years, guys. It's insane. If you don't like where you're at right now, hop on the internet, look what you're passionate about. If you like being out there, like social media. So, by example, I don't like social media that much, but I kind of like being on the camera, being out there and expressing myself. It's something that happened out of nowhere. I just wanted to do it. I got the equipment and here I am. I'm not perfect. I'm starting off. Eventually I'll get better. You'll get better as you go. But just go out there. Just go out there and do it. Stop thinking about it. Sometimes we just overdo things. We think things through, 4, 5, 6 times. We discuss it with the spouse. We went to with our friends. We'll go back to our coworkers, our parents. We're looking for validation, for feedback. I don't think we should do that. If you do anything, make sure you have your funding. Make sure you have your money set aside. We had to be wise. We had to be smart about this. Don't go out there, find something that you like, just quit your job that you've been doing for 15, 20 years, and then you're going to find yourself down the road, cash, and that's not the way to go. You just have to be smart about this.
Too long. If anything, my biggest regret in my career is just not doing that sooner. But I finally got to a place where I was fine with the outcome no matter what. If I changed careers and it didn't work out, that was still going to be better than the position that I was in. And I know so many of you are in that position where you're just really tired of what you're doing. It's mundane, it's boring. I can't speak to if you have a mortgage or if you have kids and all of these different things. And this is not just a blind endorsement to make the move. But if you have no obligations, you are single and or debt free and or ideally have some money saved up and you've been thinking about this for 2, 3+ years, at this point, regardless of what you do, tune everything else out. The responsibility is now yours. I don't want to give you the rose-colored glasses version here of like everything's gonna work out.
I like the fact that he mentioned debt-free. That's another thing, guys, that I mentioned before in the first video. Debt-free. You guys follow Dave Ramsey, you guys know that he loves that word. He loves the debt-free thing. You had to be debt-free, You don't have to be debt free to go out there and find a different career path or a different job, but you should do it because you're stressed. You're gonna be like, all right, so I have my money set aside. I don't have any debts. I just pay my recurring bills and then I'll have some money aside. So you don't have stress over it. You feel better. It's the difference between trying to change careers because you don't like your job, but you're just tired of it and you just want to get the heck out of there and go find something else right out the blue. Hey, I just woke up this morning. I don't want to go back there. I'm done. Versus, you know what? I'm going to set a plan up. I want to get out of here in about 6 months to a year. From now on, let me start paying my debt down, paying everything off, while I'm save some money, maybe sell some stuff that I don't use and throw it out the debt. So just want to be comfortable. We do this the right way. Because if you do it the right way, you go out there, you kill it, or you find a different career path, and you're done, you're good. Hey, good to go. I'm free. I'm living life. Versus, hey, now I have to go back to the same job that I had, knock at the door. So, we just don't want to go back to where you were. So
It did work out for me. It's been great. I don't even want to get into that on this video. But again, at the end of the day, if I was to simplify this for you, if you're in that situation, you need to make a decision and just double down and take some time to think about it. But once you make a decision, stop worrying about all the other possible outcomes. And two, I really think if you do that, whether it's personally, potentially financially, pending what career you're changing into, on the scope of a 30 to 40 year timeline, this really critical, life-changing decision that it feels like right now in your mid-20s, I'm 6 years removed from that, and it's like nothing. So hopefully that helps. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and see you in the next one.
So there you have it, guys. It was a simple video about career change. We had some really good videos in there for you to go back and look and just make up your mind. If you feel tired where you're at, and hey, that's fine. That's fine. Some people can do it. I can't do it. I don't mind. I love my job. So, but some other people can't. So there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you get ready. Sit down with your spouse. Get a plan going. Pay all your debts. And then you're free to go. Just stack cash. And when the day comes, make sure you do it right so you don't have to back down. And you don't want to be miserable. You want to make sure you make your money, but you're also happy. Because you might be there for 30 some years. There you have it, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.